Forget his wife. Is Ben Affleck gonna kill his comeback with this movie? You're watching Beyond the Trailer's review of Gone Girl.
The hallmark of a sociopath is a lack of empathy.
Amy lost a lot of blood in there, and then somebody mopped it up.
Why do they mop up the blood if they're trying to stage a crime scene?
Whatever they found, I think it's safe to assume that it's very bad.
I'd finally realized I am frightened of my own husband.
I would show you, as if you're doing a deposition, what to say, what not to say.
A trained monkey?
A trained monkey who doesn't get lethal injection.
She's going to eat you alive.
You assaulted her?
It's not good enough for you?
I hit her?
It's not even close.
Absolutely not. I never touched her.
We now believe Nick is involved in the disappearance of our daughter.
Yes, now comes the tricky part of Ben Affleck's comeback, transitioning back into Hollywood proper after going off on his own to rehabilitate his career, with fantastic results. Because sure, now everybody's all into the reconnaissance, but don't forget that before the shirtless wonder became Hollywood's golden boy du jour, J-Lo butt-kissing Affleck stood in that spot. He rebooted by stepping off camera to direct Gone Baby Gone, then eased back on camera to star in the next two movies he directed, The Town and Argo. That last one earned him the gold for Best Picture and saw him return to the Oscar stage 15 years after his screenwriting win for Good Will Hunting. Indeed, it seems Affleck's real strengths lie behind the camera, but he's intent on being in front of it. And Warner Brothers, the studio behind both The Town and Argo, valued their relationship with Affleck so much that they decided to give him what he wants: the starring role in perhaps one of the biggest movies ever to come out of the studio, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And knowing full well how good he is behind the camera, Warner Brothers listened to him when he said David Goyer's script needed to be rewritten by his Argo screenwriter Chris Terrio. And true to form, Affleck seems to have known what he was doing, as Terrio is also writing the upcoming Justice League. But that's all happening in the Warner Brothers sandbox. Meanwhile, Affleck is having a much harder time starring in movies where he's not in charge creatively. The Company Men? Nobody saw it. To the Wonder? Well, nobody ever sees Terrence Malick movies, but nobody talked about it either. And Runner Runner? Well, it seemed just like old times with that one, didn't it? But Gone Girl sees Affleck working with David Fincher, who's supposed to be pretty darn good behind the camera himself. But while Gone Girl has some solid box office buzz, it doesn't have a lot of awards buzz. In fact, Fincher and Gone Girl author turned screenwriter Gillian Flynn are using their Gone Girl interviews to promote their upcoming HBO show, a remake of the UK's Utopia. And when people talk about Gone Girl, they talk about Fincher, they talk about Flynn supposedly changing the ending of her own book, and a sex scene between Rosamund Pike and Neil Patrick Harris that both actors described as incredibly graphic and robotic. Although Affleck shouldn't feel too bad about being left out, as nobody seems to have noticed that Reese Witherspoon helped produce this film either. So, can Affleck ever become the true movie star he's always hoped to be? Or does he need to recognize his true calling is as a multi-hyphenate? Gone Girl comes frustratingly close to being an iconic film, but is undone by its own need to be oh so clever. Now, this is the non-spoiler review, and if you head over to the spoiler review, I'll explain that comment in detail. But here, let me just say that this could have been the new Fatal Attraction, but instead is the greatest Lifetime movie ever made. Or is that the male equivalent of a Lifetime movie? At some point in the film, Tyler Perry's Tanner Bolt says that Nick and Amy Dunn are the weirdest couple he's ever met, and I think that's this movie in a nutshell. But what can we really discuss without giving away spoilers? With this film, it's difficult. I think we can certainly discuss the ad campaign, and Fox's publicity department deserves a gold medal for being able to pique our interest in this film, quite so, as you can see from the box office returns this weekend, without really giving anything away. I think we can also discuss David Fincher to some degree. I think he's truly a master of visual storytelling at this point. He is what elevates this material to being worthy of the big screen. And I think it's directors like Fincher that are really the only thing that could potentially save the mid-range movie from going completely digital. Now, is Gone Girl an instant classic? No. Is Gone Girl, besides the publicity department, an awards contender? No. Is Gone Girl a good date movie? Hell no. Is Gone Girl a film people will remember a decade from now? I'm not sure. I will say this about Gone Girl, though. It is very original, very suspenseful, dripping with hate, and bold. And speaking of bold, if you want to go and see a film, aim high, fly close to the sun, yet because of its hubris, like Icarus, tumble down to earth, then go and see Gone Girl. If you want to see a film with amazing production values, courtesy of David Fincher and company, then go and see Gone Girl. But otherwise, I'd say it's a very, very, very solid mid-range film. Alright, so that's my review, non-spoiler review of Gone Girl. If you've seen the film, head over to my spoiler review where we can really dig into this thing because there's plenty to discuss. And I hope you'll also leave your own short reviews down below in the comments here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you can check out some more episodes right now.